Hi, this is DMC's Tony Prince. The art of turntablism has evolved in just 2 decades. It all began when Grand Wizard Theodore created a scratch effect. Furthered by legends such as Grandmaster Flash, Grand Mixer DST, until people like Cash Money, Jazzy Jeff, and the second generation DJs took the art to a new plane. Since 1985, DMC has hosted the world's greatest battles, thanks to the support of Technics and their robust SL1200 turntable, without which there would never have been an art in the first place. Here you see gathered a handful of human beings who carry the title DMC World Champion. The list began with DJ Cheese, Chad Jackson, Cash Money, Cutmaster Swift, DJ David, the Rocksteady DJs and the Dream Team, who later became known as the Invisible Scratch Pickles, featuring Qbert, Mixmaster Mike and Shortcut. Then came Rock Raider, Denmark's Noise, Canada's A-Track, and, to date, the serial killer himself, Miami's DJ Craze. To attain their standards, to become a world champion, will need dedication, application, and a real tunnel vision. The know-how is much easier than the reality. So let's start with the knowledge. Right here, right now. It's time.
Hi, we're here with DJ Go from the UK crew, the mixologist, who's going to demonstrate a couple scratches and basically setting up and finding your sounds. So, what's the procedure, Go?
Well, first of all, you've got to tighten that hole.
And why are we doing that?
Because with the bigger, bulkier cartridges and stuff, it tends to jump and stuff with the movement here.
So we're basically filling the hole so the record doesn't wobble a lot, which can cause feedback and the record jumping and stuff like that. So you spend quite a lot of time in preparing all your records then for before you start DJing.
You don't waste time with it jumping and stuff. Yeah, that's kind of all right.
Okay. So now that we've marked that up, what's the next procedure? What are we doing now?
Well, now like mark it up like a clock. So we need just like a visual sticker.
Right. So if we now zoom in on the label here, if you imagine that this is 12 o'clock, 3, 6, 9. Go's now going to put a label on the record so he'll be able to cue his sounds. So you're now finding your sound. What kind of sounds do you look for when you're scratching, when you start working on scratches?
Well, I like long sounds because basically you can do everything. You can mess about with the start bit of the sound.
Yeah.
Or you can, use the whole sound. So.
So for someone who's just getting into scratching, it's best for them to use very long sounds. So
yeah, either a tone or like an R or a
scream.
Like that, yeah.
Go there.
I want that sound right there. So, I remember where it is. Hold it and then put the sticker on.
So from our angle, this is 12 o'clock. From yours, this is 6 o'clock. Yeah?
See, the sound kind of starts right at 12.
Yep, it's cued. He's put the tape right on where the sound starts at midday.
Wow.
Or 6, sorry.
To go. It doesn't jump.
So we're just checking now that the vinyl doesn't jump too much.
Yeah, you got to wear it in a bit as well.
Yeah. Because this is brand new vinyl, so later on it'll look like this. Fingerprinted and everything else. That's when the vinyl's a bit more wear and the grooves are more
stable.
Stable, yeah. What's the first scratch you can remember learning?
First scratch.
Okay. Now that was your first scratch you learned, but there was quite a lot of different techniques in there. Can you just explain what you did and how you actually mastered doing those techniques as well? Because although that may seem very simple, because Go's a professional, trained professional, executing these things, for a first time someone who's just getting into this, there's a lot of coordination going on there. So let's just break that down and slow it right down, and let's see what are you actually doing.
So like, the first thing is just to watch the sticker.
So you're watching that sticker now to see where that sound's starting from, and he's always cueing it back to that point, which is 6, where you are actually looking.
Well, I can start like 1 o'clock.
Now you're moving this fader here on the mixer. Just explain what you're doing, why you are moving that back up
The
and down
fader's
like
like
that.
an on and off switch, especially the crossfader. It's like when it's off, you get no sound coming out, so you don't get that back scraping sound.
If you left that fader up, you'll get what sound? That's the sound you're getting when you leave the fader up. So like I said, he's coordinating between the fader and moving the vinyl backwards and forwards. So every time he moves the vinyl back, he's basically bringing the fader down so we don't hear that back rub. So that's cutting. Right. So what you do now when you're rubbing, just explain what you're doing when you're actually rubbing so we hear that continuous sound. Alright. You notice he's moving the record backwards and forwards and he's got the fader open. So it's basically a mix between the two, what you're actually doing when you're cutting and you're rubbing. And most importantly, again, he's actually making a rhythm just from what you're hearing here. You can hear a rhythm there.
These actually tears, but just the way you move the record.
Right, a tear, just break that down and explain what...
The tear is, instead of bringing the record back in one straight motion, you kind of divide it in two, so it cuts the sound.
Okay. So every time you're bringing it back, you're kind of stopping and then you're starting again. So let's slow that right down. Just slow that right down. So you're basically going from there, stop, and there.
And these are tears. Yeah, there's a lot. Combine tears with crabs.
Quite nice is just to have a beat first, and if you can't get into it, then just switch the beat off and listen to the cut on its own. Because
so, I mean,
you can hear it for what it is.
A lot of people can put the record on and they're just, for example, if I just show, because I'm old. So, I've got the record on and I'm playing it and I'm just learning to scratch. I'm scratching. But am I really scratching?
Scratching your ass there. Well, I know a master of the basics, my friend Yo, the mixologist. He's going to show you how to do the basic scratches.
Okay. Right, Yo, just give us an example of what you can do, and then we'll break that down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I show my chops.
Chops. Okay.
Yep. Chops.
Which is what Go was doing earlier, and this is chops when they're chops.
Yeah.
Right, so just hold the chop part of that.
Yeah.
Because actually he was releasing it, so you heard the fresh come out as well. So just hold the chop. That's the chop there. That's the chop. Yeah, the fader and the vinyl in syncopation.
Now I'm gonna give you a bit of history. When I first met Jazzy Jeff, me and Jazzy Jeff were gonna battle. I knew nothing. I mean, I heard of his crew. See, he lived in the city, and I was like in the suburbs.
Yeah.
But we both had reputations. But I wanted to do more parties in the city.
Yeah.
Because that's where it was at. You know what I'm saying? When I first met Jeff, we were supposed to battle at this place called the Cozy Nook. It was like a little bullshit hip hop spot. But I was in the breakdancing, hard. So it was this concert that they were having with New Edition, Nucleus, Dougie Fresh. I mean, it's before Doug was even known. I mean, it's when he was just straight beatbox.
Just Dougie Fresh.
Exactly. So we had a chance to promote our breakdance group. So I went there first. And by the time I got back to the event, it was over, and I had a chance to meet Jeff. So Jeff invited me over his house, and he had 1200s. I never actually seen him. I only seen him on the Malcolm McLaren album.
So this is really early then. What year are we talking?
Man, I might have still been in high school. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna tell you how old I am. 85. One thing I'll say, I'm not as old as Tony Prince. Alright? But when I met Jeff, he had these turntables. And I was in his basement, and when I first met Jeff was cutting like this. He had...
Yeah.
That's his scratch.
Yeah.
I came on the scene, and I showed him, he let me get on his decks.
So what was you using then if he had 12s?
I had B101s, belt drive turntables,
Okay.
the techniques.
See?
I wasn't even using, Go ahead.
I was going to say, not everyone was born with techniques out of their mouth. You know
I
what I mean?
couldn't afford them.
That's like a silver spoon.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford them back then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's why my hands are so light.
Yeah.
Because I was used to dealing with them. I mean, I used to use Audio Technica needles, the red ones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why when I got on these, I'm like, damn, they're not moving. I'm like trying to make them bounce or something. But when Jeff used to cut like that,
Yeah.
and I came in cutting like,
Which we came to know as the chirp.
right, and all this stuff. I mean, Jeff was real tight. He was like that.
Yeah.
But I came in with the doubling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's what I mean by bigabas.
Yeah.
Because my boys used to always be like, yo, do those bigabas. Because he used to be like, you know what I'm saying? All this, all that, shiver and all that stuff. And then this,
Yeah.
all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the story between Jeff, who is a great DJ, you know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for him, I don't think he would have had the world see DJing as it is today.
Yeah.
Because he's the first person to put the Transformers.
Yeah,
scratch in.
he's the first one that I think got from Philly that got New York's attention. Alright. Right, that's also known as the chirp. Let's break that down exactly what's part of the vinyl you're actually cutting when you're doing that. Can you slow that right down?
Okay.
So we're hearing the front of the sound, and we're hearing the reverse of the sound. Yeah? So he was splitting the front part and cutting the fader and bringing it back and cutting the fader. If we was to break it right down, if I can just demonstrate this. So you heard this? This is the chirp. And then that's the sound. Yeah? That's how he was breaking it down. So here we go. So do you want to put that over some music now?
Okay.
Let's just do a little demonstration of that. There's the chirps. Chops. Okay. There's a demonstration. Again, don't feel too frustrated if you can't get it straight away, because obviously Yo is a trained professional again. He's obviously mastered this. How long did it kind of take you to get these techniques?
I started DJ 3 years ago.
3 years,
and,
right?
First year, I do, kind of basic scratch like chop or back scratch.
Yeah.
So I can say 1 year.
1 year.
1 year to get fast.
To get fast.
Musical. Yeah.
Okay. So again, a lot of DJs spend a lot of hours and time, and it is something that you will develop over time. I mean, mastering the chirp at first, it is pretty much patting your stomach and rubbing your head at first. There is a lot of syncopation between the vinyl and, the crossfader. Again, there's lots of different positions where you might want to place your hand. Some people place theirs down there. Yo had his here. pioneers like Cash Money hold the side of the vinyl. So don't feel that you have to actually adapt a style that you may see someone doing. Get comfortable with the vinyl, and you know, it's really a case of working on syncopation between the two. Excuse me. Supposedly it was invented by a DJ called Spinbad from Philadelphia.
That's it.
Yeah. So let's find this. What kind of sounds are right for transforming? Because certain scratches sound more dynamic with certain sounds, don't they?
Yeah, for transforming, because you're cutting the sound in and out quite a lot and stuff. It's normally long sounds which you can practice a lot better on. But once you sort of progress and you got it down, it's like small sounds you can transform quicker and that. So to start with, like long sounds and that. So. Oh, it's perfect.
There's our R sound again.
Obviously, so we're transforming this just like with the fader off.
Yeah.
You let the sound play, and then you click the fader in and out for like, that's one click.
Yeah.
So closed, open, shut.
Yeah.
And if you repeat that, it carries on. And
so you did about 3 clicks there, and that's how we hear the R.
Yeah, you're just chopping the sound into little segments, basically.
Yeah.
So you get like a almost time stretched sound. So it's like.
So just play that sound once again in its original form. Have you noticed what he's doing? He's just opening and shutting the fader, and he's chopping that sound.
And once you sort of master that, you can do it forwards and then sort of backwards as well.
Yeah.
So it's like.
So now you're not just chopping the front, you're actually chopping the back as well. So what about the rhythmic side of it now? How does that work?
Once you get sort of more fluid with like the forward and the back, you can make it maybe go faster.
Yeah.
And so you could do like a faster forward one, maybe a slower back one, or other way round, or using sort of the record hand to sort of make the record sort of faster or slower and that. You can
How much pressure are you applying to the vinyl to actually bring it back? Because, I mean, for a new DJ, he's got to get familiar with actually applying pressure to the vinyl. I mean, do you apply just enough so the vinyl's still moving quite smoothly?
I think it depends on that. What's like what you do in that? Because I suppose if you put too much pressure on it and stuff, the sound might become sloppy in that. So if I'm quite light fingered in that. So if I put too much pressure on the back pull, it might sound a bit like too stiff and that, and you can't get the fluid sort of So
I understand that.
Kind of just quite light sort of kind of if you nimble fingered.
So let's demonstrate some of the more pattern side to it. And okay.
Let's take a quick look back in time at former world champions' techniques. First, Chad Jackson in 1987 at the Royal Albert Hall. One year later, Cash Money. Germany's DJ David in 1990. Rocksteady DJs with Cuba in 1992.
So you want to be a turntablist? Benny G, mixologist, practice hard.
Yo, check it out. This is the Apollo, aka PLO Style, and you're watching. What's that?
The Art of Turntablism. Yes.
Okay, here we are in the capital of hip-hop, New York City. Cutmaster Swift's here to go into the greatest hip-hop record shop in town, talking about fat beats. And you got some friends waiting in there, Johnny, yeah?
I believe so, Tony. Let's go in and meet them.
Yeah, come on. Okay, here we are, everybody. This is it. This is it, Johnny. We've landed. This is the greatest hip-hop shop in the world.
Just full of records.
Everybody, it's always packed, always packed. You can't get in before 12 o'clock because it's a late starting store. Go and have a look around, Johnny, see if there's anybody you recognise in here.
I think they're all over here. It's Mr. Thing, the current DMC champion, first rate. Hello. Beatboxing Keller. Give us a quick sound. Sounds good. Runner-up champion, Tony Vegas. I'll get you doing a little second on this thing. Yeah. Move around, let's move around, let's move around. Sparky T from Greece. Say hello to the camera, don't be shy. Rolling, keep.
Rockets from Holland, DMC, Waxwankers, Vegas.
Legendary champion, DJ Noise. Can't resist the record selection. What have you got there, sir?
Just like represses of old stuff, like Stizo, 12 inches. 2 of each, you gotta have 2 of each.
Yeah, of course, 2 copies essential. Legendary Babu from the Beat Junkies. So Swift? Yeah, man. What's going on?
Hanging out, buying some records.
Buying some records.
Yeah.
No doubt we'll get some comments from Babu about Scratchy's techniques and, you know, opinions, and probably tell us what half of these stars actually are, because I can't keep up with these names. There's 2 particular ways you can have the crossfader. There's the normal way, which is left to right. So right is right deck, left is left deck, or you can have it the hamster style, which is basically the fader in reverse. So this side will be right, that side will be left. Hope I'm quite clear with that. And also the faders are reversed as well on this mixer. So because Tony does most of his stuff in hamster style, if you like to...
Because I'm backward.
compatible, year 2000 and all that. We're just going to have a little groove over this?
Yeah.
Alright, he's going to do a little groove over this, and then we'll just go through some of the patterns that he actually has done.
And it jumps.
Yeah, Tony Vegas. How about a round of applause? Woo!
Freeze Bike Rangers.
Okay.
Alcoholic.
Just explain a bit about some of the styles you just did there, Tony. And
simple stuff, really. Just
simple stuff, he says.
No, just open up baby scratching. Just using the ups, single click flares on the ups.
Okay, let's just go over them in a more slower form, and you know.
That's okay.
At this time, if you got a good pause button and a decent VCR, you should be able to slow down and hopefully
start off with.
So this is the rub. This is the basic element of scratching, invented by Grand Wizard Theodore, putting it into a rhythmic form. So that's the rub.
Ever. I think that's my favourite scratch of all time. A few echoes at the beginning as well.
Let's just slow down how you're actually doing those echoes. If you noticed, if you want to explain it, Tony, I'll shut up a bit.
Just taking the up fader down, which is the volume control on the mixer, really, in coordination with your hand on the record. So you're just letting the record go, releasing the fader, but gradually taking the up fader down as you go through.
Yeah.
And a little bit faster.
You should now just hear that echoing. So let's just go into the various styles of rubs you was actually doing in there now.
So I did some single clicks on the ups.
And those you can also echo out.
You can echo those.
I also noticed you was actually getting a click flare without even having your hand on the vinyl. Can you just explain how you was actually achieving that?
Same theory. You know, the hands can be an extension of a fader. They can work exactly the same way. In stopping a record, you can achieve the same sound difference that a crossfader would give you. So just doing, you break the sound down the same way that a fader does. With two hands.
You'd be a good baker, you know, Tom.
When it jumps.
Basically, the functions of the fader is to cut the sounds out. Yeah, basically, you know. And as they are faders, they do that. They fade. And you basically, what he's actually doing with the vinyl, with his hand, he's actually stopping the vinyl and letting it go, simulating the fader.
Other things with throwing in rubs at the end.
Yep. Let's go for some of them rubs. Again, if he was to slow this down, he's basically stopping the vinyl in millionths of a second. Millionths of
Trying to do that as slow as possible.
You can hear that growling sound there.
Yep. Rubs,
and what about some of those faded techniques? Just give us an idea how you kind of came out with those ideas and what you was actually doing.
Theory, the way I look at everything is because I use the mixer reverse for juggling, scratching. Gives me the advantage of being able to have little finger on the record, thumb therefore reaches this up fader which controls that side. So I can just go like
As you notice, he's actually cutting out the left turntable there, as well as manipulating the right one in time to
There's so many things now that I can do with that.
Just give us an idea of, I mean, obviously doing that, it must make it a bit strenuous on your little finger.
Yeah.
Any exercise tips or anything?
Just look at those great hands. No. 'Cause I don't do it. People have all these weird kind of things and hook themselves up to power supplies in the wall and shake, and it's
I
like.
can't say this is kids program video.
Yeah, but basically I kind of get away with it just by giving my girlfriend a really good finger in it.
This is the other version, by the way.
You know that's good in the video.
Yeah, you know I'm going out the front door when I get home anyway, so I've really got nothing to lose anymore. No, I don't know. People just find, however people find themselves comfortable. A lot of people use those hand grip things, and you know, others don't. I never have done. You know, when I started, the only exercise was nose, and that was all it was.
And this is the actual style that you've actually called the Vegas.
No, the Vegas was. I'll see if I can do. I haven't done this thing in a while. I haven't done this in a while. The Vegas was basically that.
Okay.
Kind of helps if you have that kind of loud so you can hear it. Let's try it again. Just a simple thing like that, which is you end up kind of drilling that side and just transforming that side.
Yeah.
Just with both of those. It's just an idea that I had a long while ago, and did that with it, and then realised that there's quite actually nothing else you can do with it, so it was pointless. But it looks good.
It looks good.
I mean, that looks great. Might not sound so good. So the girls like it. Yeah, it's just, you know, simply because I use everything reverse. You know, a lot of guys use a mix of reverse just for scratching, and with a hamster switch, just switch it back from normal for juggling.
Yeah.
Everything I've ever done has been reverse.
Is it something you just took to straight away, or you
I
had to
started
kind
about
of train
6
yourself?
years ago. I started normal. I used to be a left-hand scratcher. The whole setting on the mixer was the correct way round. You know, left is left and right is right. And I just thought a challenge would be to re-coordinate myself. And that's what I done. And since I done it, I stayed with it and just found that it can open a lot of doors for me.
Yeah.
With the drumming on turntables. I mean, if I find a bass drum on here. Just because I have it the other way around. That's there, control the bass like that, and I can do that. So I just, you know, in having the mix reverse and you know, basically starting that way. You know, 6 years ago is a long time. It's just about taking advantage of it.
This is Jerry Rock. I'm representing that crew called the Beat Junkies. You're checking out the world and the art of turntablism.
I guess I've just been known for doing solid beat juggles and solid scratching.
Yeah.
And you know, my whole angle on scratching at least is more about being funky and just expressing yourself in more of a way than really just running down a list of scratches, just expressing yourself.
So pretty much every time you perform your scratches, you're just vibing off that
yeah,
moment.
Yeah.
There isn't a particular set routine.
I've done both. But as of lately, due to my laziness, I've just been freestyling, so.
We're gonna call this freestyling, by the way. Vibing.
Vibing, okay, just vibing out, just, you know, just feeling what's going on in the room. But, I don't know. I guess, I get really known, like, when I was first coming up, you know, most of the scratches that I thought I was good at, I was doing was like really fast transforming and shit like that, you know what I mean? And at that time, that's when I started hooking up with D-Styles and a lot of the other Bay Area DJs, and you know, they started coming out with all this flare scratching stuff. And you know, the first one that we were learning was the one clip.
That's a one clip. Let's just slow that down. You're looking how the finger's actually moving and how his hand's moving. I noticed you had that kind of wavy movement in your hand. Is it anything necessary, or is that just your kind of flair to it?
It just happened like that when I taught myself.
Okay.
So no particular reason.
Actually, I have a good way of explaining that.
Yes.
Just to cut in. A very good way of explaining this. Because a lot of DJs ask me what the flare is.
Yeah.
And Cuba told me, basically, it's illusion scratch. So if you have a waveform here, and take this as a waveform, right? And this is your scratch. This is forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. This is your scratch. It's a jigger scratch.
Yep.
Normally, you would put the click here and here. Like forward, click, back, click, forward, click, back, click. Now, if we take these away, and you just put one click in the middle of it all, basically you make the turns of the record stop between the forward and the backwards motion sound like a click, and then you have another click in the middle. So it sounds like an illusion. It's an illusion scratch.
So that's the theory behind it all. Let's see Babu demonstrating this.
So the most basic of the new school scratches is the one-click flare. Just like Flair said, I'm just pushing through the beginning of the word, and I'm cutting off in the middle, and then I pull it back. So you're just doing the same thing forward and backwards. And then came the orbit. That's like two-click flare, and that was more like.
And your hands basically clicking on the fader twice.
Two forward, two back. But I think the most important thing to learn the new scratch is that you always, and this is what made it hard for me to learn the scratch, is like you learn to scratch, and you end closed. You know what I mean? And all the new scratches, like you got to start open and end open. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's how you get that sound of it rolling and all that.
Yeah.
And then Qbert and all those crazy cats, they came up with all like the finger styles.
Yeah.
Where they
That's the crab.
That's the crab scratch.
Yeah.
And you can do that 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers. I mean, I really compare it to the flare. You could do it in a way where I think it's more like a transform.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you want it to roll, you can make it roll like a, you know, like an orbiter or flare, and you just end open, start open, you know, and that's about it.
All right.
And
let's demonstrate some of this then.
All right, let's put it all together.
Put it together. It's music with your hands.
Yo, this is the phonocyclograph disc. And I am the inventor of the orbit scratch and also the crab scratch with my partner Qbert. You gotta check out dmcworld.com and peep it out because I said so. And if you don't listen to me,
So that sounds, you can hear more of the sound, but it sounds more grainier.
that's actually a continuous 2-click flare, forwards and backwards, so it's an orbit.
Yeah.
But it's not that clean because my hands are cold.
DMCworld.com. DJ Flair. This is the face. This is the one who's created lots. You've created lots and lots of little monsters. How do you feel about that?
Feel cool. I'm glad people have embraced the flare scratch concept.
Yeah. What's this talk about? A new flare, sonic flare.
I don't know. Q started that rumor.
Talk about the actual name. It's obviously named after yourself. Obviously, the most appropriate name. Was it something you initially came out with, or was it just something you just were scratching and you thought, all right, then we'll call it Flair?
Well, I didn't have a name for it at the time. When I went to Q's house, he saw it and stuff, and he names all the scratches. So he's like, "What should we name it? What should we name it?" I was like,
"Shut up! You named that scratch."
No, yeah, I know. I named it. But he was like, he names all the scratches, so he was like thinking of a name for it. We were both thinking of a name. And I said, why don't we name it Flair, the Flair scratch, because, you know, DJ Flair.
Did you instantly know you was onto something new? I mean, how did it happen?
Nah, I just thought it was another scratch and stuff. Q's the one who was really tripping out on it.
Yeah.
I just thought, okay, it's another scratch.
So how long was you practicing it till you introduced it to Q? Or is it just something that just kind of came accidentally? You went, oh fuck, let's rewind that and just keep going over that.
I came up with it like in '88.
Wow.
Yeah, like '88. I was listening to this one Cash Money scratch.
Not on Scratching to the Funk.
No, not Scratching to the Funk. It was on the remix of Ugly People Be Quiet.
Okay.
The remix on the album. And he was scratching turntable and he's going turn.
Yeah.
And for some reason I thought he was doing like, I was like broke it down. I was like, damn, trying to listen to it and stuff. And I thought he was doing that and I started doing that movement and stuff and it was like, I guess it wasn't the same thing.
It overlaps into a new style.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we're gonna get a preview of this Sonic Flair at this Stud Rumble or anything?
I'm just gonna do whatever.
I'll tell you what I liked watching you yesterday in the rehearsal.
Oh really?
The fact that you knew everybody's cuts and you did them exactly as the cuts.
Which one?
When you did Mix Master Mike, DST.
Oh, during the rehearsal.
It's good to see someone knowing their history.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people they don't know how to cut.
Yeah.
You know, they've just dived straight in at the flare scratching.
Yeah.
What do you say to new DJs coming out who've just dived in straight into what you're doing because they hear that and they think that's what I've got to know, flares and crabs?
Just should like go back to the like old school records with the old school scratches and like learn the basics, learn transforming. Transforming just brings it all together.
Have you ever seen Spin Bad?
Spin Bad?
Yeah.
No.
Have we ever tried to get hold of Spin Bad, Q?
Which one, the first one or the second one?
What? The Spin Bad who actually created Transforming. No one knows anything about him.
Oh, yeah.
That'd have been a face to kind of an association. I mean, I never knew what Grand Wizard Theodore looked like until I think '88.
Oh really?
Yeah, I just heard about Theodore and I never knew what he looked like.
Huh.
You know?
I've never seen Theodore either.
So, what's the future, Flair? What you looking to accomplish next? Flair 2, Flair 3?
No, just go out here tonight and do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's like, and then for the future, you know.
Name us some places you performed at. You've ever done any live appearances anywhere?
Oh
or?
yeah, just like, I don't know, nothing.
Why have we never got you to judge at the DMC?
I don't know, you know.
Need to have a word with them about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've done a few raves here and there, you know, scratched the raves and did some other little shows, but nothing like on a regular basis where, you know, I'm always on the road. Always on the road, you know what I mean?
Okay, DJ Flair, the one and only. This is the guy who created the monster, I say.
It's just another scratch, you know. Big deal.
He says modestly.
If I didn't come up with it, somebody else would have, you know.
Yeah, but what would it have been called? I think that's an appropriate name.
Really?
There's always, I mean, I used to be a break dancer.
Oh, really?
And people who could flare when they used to break dance, which was like a a wide swing kind of movement.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know what you see there.
Yeah.
You know, it was a very difficult move to accomplish. And
what is the atomic flare? Is that what it's called? Or the windmill?
Windmill
What it's
flare.
called? Yeah.
Yeah, but they called it. Yeah, it had various names. Again, you know, that's one thing I'm kind of glad about being here, because I think you guys can kill the rumors and give these things their official names. You know, I get people coming up to me, do you know what this scratch is? And I'm like, look, man, I've just about caught on to flares and orbits.
Oh, really?
You know, and grabs.
I saw you scratching the other night.
Oh,
tight,
leave me alone.
Yeah, flares down.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, tell us about that. I mean, even with the flare, I mean, a lot of people were mystified that you had to do it reverse, but you do it normal.
Yeah, you mean normal? Yeah,
yeah. You have the fader normal.
Yeah.
And you came out with that concept normal.
Yeah, yeah. Because that's the way I scratch. I scratch normal, you know. So.
He's not normal.
So, Cuba, why has everyone thought it should be going with the
homosexual
with the switch reverse? Because you guys introduced it like that.
Well, that's not really. It's like when we started here in San Francisco, back in like the 80s, our mixer didn't have a crossfader. It was this Radio Shack mixer. And
here we go, this in Radio Shack.
Yeah, no, it's cool, 'cause they came out with a mixer with a fader, but they had a mixer that was just up and down.
Yeah.
So I
record.
scratched it up and down.
Right.
So if it's gonna go on this way, I have to put it in reverse. So it's the
Oh, okay.
That's the only reason why. But
there we go. That's the.
But you can do every scratch either way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
There he goes. Of the pickles. This is the Toad Man. His face is on the back of which break one? Toasted marshmallows, I believe.
Yep.
Did they pay you royalties for that? Your face is famous.
Yeah, he's a famous face, right?
So is D-Styles.
His face is on scratch fetishes also, and flying booger breaks, I think.
Now, you've been quite a quiet cat, you have D-Styles.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people hear your name and they don't really know what you look like, and they know that you've been innovative in quite a few, the way these scratches flow now. Talk about that. Where's your influences and your flow come from?
I'm not really innovating. I'm just around these guys, and I have to absorb it. You know what I mean? And
So what happens? What's the way it works? If someone come out with something kind of new and you're like, shit, damn, I gotta up that one. I gotta up the stake.
yeah, I try to, but it's hard because these guys are already, up here, and I'm still trying to.
Yeah, right.
One thing about you guys are so fucking modest, if I can say that.
This guy's hella sick.
I mean, do you guys amaze yourselves? You guys must amaze yourselves. Or how would you have confidence in what you're doing? You must go, damn, how the hell did I do that?
Nah, I can't. I don't know. Not me. I'm depressed all the time.
Here, Richie.
This guy? All right. I don't know. I'm going to say it all as... what are we talking about? This guy's... I'm talking about the modesty of this crew.
No, the modesty of this man. We're all show-offs. Flair is. Show-offs.
Yeah, right.
You want to see the baddest? Q, who's the baddest? Flair, who's the baddest?
I'm not trying to get the bottom who's the baddest. I'm just obviously trying to
he's the most modest, but he's the baddest.
I mean, I saw Q yesterday when we was at the house, and he's going, yo, Steve, get on the decks, get on the decks, get on the decks. He's like, oh man, I just got in there.
It's like when I'm at home practicing and stuff. It's like, and I haven't been around these guys for a while. Like, yeah, I'm pretty good. And then I go hang out with these guys and practice with them, and I'm like, damn, I suck. I'm like, damn.
That's how I feel. That's exactly. It's like when I hear these guys, it's like a wake up call again.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you gotta practice.
Yeah, right.
I'm serious.
Whether you're gay.
Does it still feel like the first day though? I mean, you guys are now, you are the what the world's DJs look at now for being innovative and everything else. Is that pressure so much to uphold, or do you guys just think, you're just doing it for yourselves, you're not really bothered about all that?
I just do it for myself, because I've been doing it so long. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I've been doing it since I was 13.
Yeah.
I'm like 27 now, so it's like, I don't know. It's like I just do it for the fun of it. Kills time or whatever. I don't know. It's like second nature to scratch or something. Just like.
So how many hours you guys go at a day? What, 8, 10, 15?
Oh, no. I try to, scratch. I go like weeks scratching, like a couple weeks scratching, then I'll go into a slump. I'm tired of it, and I won't scratch for like a week. And I was like, dang, I sort of want to scratch now. It just changes, I don't practice every day. I try to, but...
You are dexterous as well, aren't you?
Yeah, but I don't really practice with my other hand anymore because it's like, I don't know. It's like, what's the point? It's not like I'm entering battles and stuff.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You know, so I just stick with one hand. Just try to come up with new scratches and stuff. You know.
It's amazing, man. Thanks a lot, guys. Looking forward to the showcase later on. Keep up the good work. Cool. Nice. What you saying? Sinister.
Chilling, man. This is Peace and Chill. My man Cutmaster Swift.
Yep. Stevie D as well behind there.
Man.
How you guys feeling?
Chilling. Good.
You guys are part of this history making.
Yeah, man. So are you.
So are you, exactly. Exactly. What is with this?
You can't take all the credit here.
That's right. The man behind the camera is just responsible.
Put the camera on yourself 1 second. There you go. That's the man right there. You know?
For real.
All these other people might go back home. You know what I'm saying? Down here, it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's cool.
8 Ball. What's up? What's happening, sir? Talk to the camera.
What do you want me to say? What would you like me to make love to the camera like this? Yes.
I want
the flowing blonde hair, blonde lock.
You're one of the guys that were kind of first, really one of the pioneers with the tone shit, really.
I don't know if you want to say that, but I wasn't the first.
Okay.
The first.
But you was one of the ones who took it.
I was
instrumental in it.
I was given the credit. I'm not gonna claim. I was given the credit of being the most innovative of all and taking it to like the highest level possible, if at all, if there's any other levels possible above that. But the very first person, the person to actually thank for it would probably be Robert Watts.
Robert Watts.
In 1988, DMC World, he took just a long ass tone and just went. He didn't make a song, but the concept started there.
Okay.
And then after that, that's when DJ Qbert did his little Mary Had Little Lamb trick. And that's when DJ 8 Ball said, Mary Had Little Lamb, I'm gonna do this stuff. And that's when everyone said, 8 Ball's biting Qbert. Even though the dumbasses don't know the difference between Mary Had Little Lamb and Yankee Doodle.
Okay.
But hey, it's 7 years later, and only now those little kids grew up and figured that out.
Okay, respect, man. Right, we're now going to demonstrate tones, basically making musical sounds out of just a single tone by manipulating the pitch and the speed control. So Pogo start the record. There's the pitch of our tone at that speed, and he's manipulating the pitch control as well as the speed to get various different pitches, known as octaves. Okay, let's see what you got. See if you recognize some of these. Right, Ghost just joined us and he's going to add some beat chops to Pogo's B lines, and it should sound quite funky. Let's see what they've got. There you go. Round of applause for the crowd.
Steve Steinsky of Double D and Steinsky. The Payoff Mix, Lesson 2, Lesson 3, the Motorcade Sped On, the Sugar Hill Mix, Jazz. Very happy to be here. You're watching The Art of Turntablism. DMC.com. Get with it.
Right, I'm here with Yo, Mad Cut, and Benny. And basically what we're going to do now, we're going to demonstrate the individual styles from each individual. So basically, we're going to run the rhythm, and one person's going to do one particular style, and then I'm going to move it along, so you can understand, you know, what those individual styles sound like from one person, because it can be quite confusing hearing, you know, an individual do all these individual styles. So, you cue up your sounds, guys. This is totally unrehearsed. This is real. This is live. This is what being a turntablist is all about. Okay, we got our sounds. We all balanced? Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Nothing's jumping? So we're going to start the rhythm. Here's our beat. Ready? I'm going to start off with Yo first. What are you going to do, Yo? What are you going to start off first? I'll give you the chance. The first man always is the lucky one.
Cutting.
He's going to do cutting, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to shout onto Mad Cut a style, and he's going to do that. Here we go. So he's cutting. Chirp. Transform. Flare. Twiddle. Crab. Orbit. So that's basically all the individual styles. So now we'll go off again, and you guys can just take it as you go and flow with it, yeah? So that's all the individual styles, and this is all the DJs now going off together. So we'll just wind the beat back again. Ready? So this is the rub. Yo. Mad Cut. Benny. Yo. Mad Cut. Benny. So that's basically it, yeah? All the individual styles. Oh, sorry, Yo. You was ready there, weren't you?
So, think about it if you're trying to go.
Don't think anything else and you're playing yourself.
It's called lyric cutting.
Lyric cutting, get this right?
So someone named that. I don't know who did. I didn't do it. I just do it, and someone else gives it a name. Like for instance, you had the Vegas. Mr. Tony Vegas had the Vegas, and there's just didn't want to name it the Vegas. Really, you know. What are you gonna say? Someone said had your name for it, and he says, well, the Vegas. Call the Vegas. And I've never named this. It's just someone who did it. So for instance, over here I got a sentence. It goes like this.
You thought you was the man. Bad news, kid. I never heard of you. All the bullshit you claim you did.
That's a sentence. And over here I have this sentence.
What did you, an idiot?
This is a sentence.
What did you, an idiot?
Right.
And then if I fast forward, it's about here. It says.
Shit, I make it happen. Shit, I make it happen.
And those are the sentences.
So you're grouping this now. He's taking lyrics on this deck on the left, saying, "What are you, an idiot?" If I remember.
This is I thought just a man.
Eddie had been out.
This was I thought you.
It's totally starting. Missed me out again.
This is I thought you was the man, and this is what are you, an idiot?
Yeah.
Basically, I'm just gonna flip this guy's lyrics. This is a guy called Nine, and another guy over here is a player out of Junior Mafia.
Yeah.
Some guy out of the Junior Mafia.
By the way, Noise has got the fader back into normal mode.
Normal mode.
We should mention this just in case you're still a bit lost and thinking, wait a minute, when did that switch over?
Exactly. So basically, fader's here.
stat table, faders here, stat turntable right there. And also I got lined up another sentence right here. So when I drop the needle on this piece here, I let it go.
Yeah. We'll go into a bit more detail about the cueing style, because we know that the Danish are very famous for pioneering the cue mark.
After you hear me, you won't be so overconfident.
Okay. That's another sentence. So basically I just drop it like...
I'm going to string all this together now and make a conversation out of it.
See if I can do
Listen
it
to this.
You thought you was the man? Bad news. What to do with idiot? Kid, I never heard of you. What to do with idiot? Kid, I never heard of you. What to do with idiot? Kid, I never heard of you. All the bullshit, claiming it. I make it happen. All the bullshit, claiming it. I make it happen. All the bullshit, claiming it. I make it happen. You got your ass caught. After you hear me, you won't be so overconfident.
There you go.
And that's the sentence.
And that can be pretty detrimental in a battle.
If it's a battle, yeah.
Most times it is.
Doesn't take a lot of skill. It just takes a good brain.
Wait 1 minute. Let's diffuse that. This art form does take a lot of skill. You know, it takes a lot of the guys that are doing this stuff are dedicated to it. They spend numerous hours. You know, don't come out their room for days. And at the end of the day, the concepts is really what the brain power is. You know, and actually putting it together and executing it with great accuracy, in my books, does take a lot of skill. So.
But I'm just talking like vice versa against the scratching part. I mean, the scratching part, you really have to put in work to be really good, especially if you're going to do it live as well. This here is not really, I mean, it doesn't take a lot as long as you know how to cue records up, and as long as you have a good ear for sentences, and just know how to store them in your head. Basically, my idea of coming up with sentences came from this guy, Typhoon from Denmark. He had 2 records. You all know them, probably, if you've been DJing for a while. One was LL Cool J, Can't Live Without My Radio, and the other one was Ultramagnetic MC's, the chorus line.
Yeah.
Chorus line says, hold the beat, stop the beat, drop the beat. And Cool J says, rock the beat with your hands. So he dropped, hold the beat, rock the beat, stop the beat with your hands. Hold the beat, rock the beat, stop the beat with your hands. And after that, I was like, well, if you can do that, you can put more sentences together. You can make it sound, you know, like a whole verse of rapping. Because I was one of the few DJs that actually listened more to rapping than just to the beat. The beat didn't really appeal to me that much, but the rapping really did, you know. And you can tell in '95, my world final thing, where pretty much all my sentences are crisp. When it comes to the beat, I scratch over it. It's bullshit. So you can check the mix of your videos. Go ahead and get your world champion videos.
Okay, you're going to do another demonstration for us now?
Yeah, see if I can get this to work. This is the new phenomenon, Eminem. He did a song called Role Model, and it's just basically the chorus is pretty simple. It's just like this. Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? Don't you want to grow up to be just like me? And I'll always love the song. I always loved the album. Had the album a year before it came out on tape, blah, blah, blah. And this song over here by Foreign Legion, well, it's pretty simple that I use this one when you heard the chorus. It's pretty simple for me to use this.
What you gonna be when you grow up? Yo, self-employed, full-time B-boy making noise. What you gonna be when you grow up? I'm going up.
Yeah, full-time B-boy making noise. So basically, I dropped these 2. And if I could get up to sync with each other, I'm just going to do that right now.
Syncing's another concept for beat mixing and stuff like that.
That should be it.
Let's just clarify something. A lot of people try lyric cutting and they find certain problems with it. Do you find it easier to not make that the actual records do run in the same tempo, or is it just something that you don't let obstruct you?
Well, one thing that's easy is that if you get the sentences that they work together, they might not work together in reality.
Yeah.
In theory, they might be, that would be excellent. But one record might be really, really like loud, crisp, a lot of treble on it. Another record might be like a bassy record, and you can't get those 2 to fit. I mean, the lyrics might fit, but when you cut from one turntable to the other one, you have to take into consideration you're on a big stereo system. So one lyric might be like squeaky voicey, and then another one might be a bass line, Barry White and Eminem would not go together. It would not happen. This one here they're pretty similar, but I'm still pushing like what you would call, this is pretty, I mean, these would probably not fit. This is just because it's a really lyrically, this is a really good fit. That's why I did it. So basically, it goes like this.
Hey, yo, self-employed. Don't you wanna grow up to be just like yours? What you gonna be when you grow up? I'm blowing up. Don't you wanna grow up to be just like me? What you gonna be when you grow up? Self-employed. Don't you wanna grow up to be just like yours? You probably wanna grow up to be just like me.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's pretty
That's
good.
nice. I mean, that's not too often something like that can happen in that kind of... Is it something you just thought the concept and then worked it out, or is it something that kind of happened by accident?
I heard both songs. And one said, what you want to be when you grow up. The other guy said, don't you want to grow up to be just like me?
Yeah.
And when he said full-time b-boy making noise, I was just... Actually, I was on a train. I had my mini disc in my ear. And I heard both songs and I was like, I wish these two fit. You know, I really wish that these two would fit.
Yeah.
So when I got home and I was trying it, I was like shaking it. Oh, come on. And it's all I had to do was just flip the fader.
Yeah.
And these two guys rap together.
Right, we're here with DJ Pogo from the Enforcers, who's going to demonstrate for us beat chopping. What exactly is beat chopping, Adam?
Beat chopping is basically getting the bass and the snare, and you're using the bass and snare to recreate your own rhythmic drum pattern.
Right. So let's see some of this. Right, you're actually manipulating two sounds. What are those? Let's just explain those sounds for those who ain't really familiar.
Right, this is a bass.
You're right.
This is a snare.
Right.
Together they sound like this.
Right. How do you know, I mean, there's bass and snares throughout the whole record, so how do you know what part to actually find when you're doing the beat chop? Well, because there is a certain part that most DJs use, isn't there?
Basically, it's the part that sounds like this. It's the bass and snare very close together, or it could be the snare and bass close together in reverse.
Doesn't matter.
You can chop with the snare in front of the bass or vice versa.
Right.
You know?
And let's just explain, I mean, you did quite a few different styles there, I mean, which obviously added to the piece being quite musical. Let's just explain how you knew when to change those styles and what you was actually doing.
Well, basically, I go in beats of fours. I can't, like, every 4 bars just change it, every bar just change it, you know,
So when we're saying beats
of... It sounds rhythmically right.
Right, so when we're saying beats of 4, we're actually talking about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically you change it on what bar?
On the 4th bar.
On the 4th bar. So we're basically going 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 bars, and then he changes the rhythm. So let's just demonstrate that, and I'll count to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. See, so there's the count. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's changing on a certain amount of those counts. I'll go into more detail about this a bit later on. Okay. You got any flash stuff you want to show off?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Like, there's so many different styles of beat chopping. It's basically just like this is the standard. Because every DJ does that as a standard, basically. You know, and you just make up your own ideas from that. You've got like the drum and bass style. You know, like
so basically, you're recreating grooves that you obviously know, as well as styles that you might be.
It's whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever beat you want to make flow that you can actually accomplish, and it's possible to do with turntables. That's what you try to manipulate with the sounds you've got there.
So if you hear a kind of a popular beat that no one's really created, it's just you in turn just trying to.
It's whatever, you know. I try to do things a bit more differently, you know, like just to change it up a bit, you know. Like I do more like.
So you're putting scratches in there, and again you're doing quite a lot of cutting with the fader.
So it just sounds different, you know. I think like the whole point of DJs, they want to be different from everybody else. You know, do the standard stuff so people go, okay, I understand this, I've seen this before. And then when you take it somewhere else, they can see that you've taken it somewhere else. You know.
Allies, I have this message for all of you.
Next up, yo, I believe that. Praise, 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 praise. To the one that they could praise, praise, praise. Next up, yo, I believe that's infamous. I'm gonna knock your ass out too. Heard of us. Next up, yo, I believe that. A track, a track, a track, a track, a track, a track. I don't think so.
And so, as the Allies' plane comes into land, well, looks like that's the end of the Allies then.
I got lots of love for my crew, that is no love for the whole crew. My kids on the motel, niggas know what time it is, and if they know. Y'all should just get the fuck out now. And bring some real shit next time. Yeah, bring some real shit.
Yo, what's up? This is DJ Develop representing the motherfucking Allies, and you're representing the art of DJ Turntablism.
Right, I'm going to demonstrate back cueing, which was pioneered by Grandmaster Flash, which is basically keeping the music running continuously between the two turntables, using two of the same copies. What I've done basically, to start off, I've marked both records identical, so they both start from the same point, which is, so that's there at 9, where you're looking from. Both records start from that exact same point. So basically, when they both play together, you can see that the markers are running together. I'm going to use the headphones, which is quite important at the very beginning stage, because you don't want to be hearing all the whips from the external equipment, so it's all internal inside the headphones. So what I'll be hearing in the headphones is a lot of the spins. That's what's hearing in the headphones, but you're basically, the fader will be shut, and you'll just hear the record spinning back, like that. So here we go. So I'm letting the music play, queuing up my sound, counting. That's playing now. Queuing my sound. You should be able to kind of predict when I'm going to cut it in. In case you're not able to do that, what I'm actually doing, I'm counting to the beats. Again, like I did with Pogo. Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my record cue, yeah? Listening to the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. There it goes. Yeah? So I'm kind of doing that in my head. That's what I'm counting to. Now I'm cueing my record again. That's what DJs like, again, like I said, Grandmaster Flash pioneered, which rappers would originally rap over the beat and they'll just keep that beat continuously running. Then what eventually happened, some DJs didn't have rappers. So now they started experimenting with the music and going faster. So I'm looking at the marker And also listening in my headphones for that sound. There we go. Let me go faster now. Now at this point, it's pretty difficult to use the headphones and cue the markers at the same time. So I'm now just relying on the markers themselves. See, there they are. So that's cueing. Now it's really important to kind of master this technique before you move on to the more advanced beat juggles and stuff, because you're relying now on a lot more advanced cueing and getting a record to a certain position a lot more quicker, which we're gonna move on to a bit later on. So it's very important that you master back spinning and back cueing, yeah? Cueing that record from the point that you've actually decided to keep starting that record and keeping it continuous so it runs as a continuous loop. So that's cueing. Beat, oh, beat, 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 beat. Okay. So Madcut, just explain the foundations of beat juggling and what you actually was doing there.
Basically, got 2 copies of the same beats here, both marked up.
Yeah.
And basically, I'm using the markers and using the bars and the beats to kick the hi-hat and the snare.
Yeah.
To basically create a beat. The usual drum pattern, as you can hear, it's just that.
Yeah.
What I basically was doing then was just manipulating the crossfader and the 2 turntable platters to basically just reconstruct a beat, slowing it down, making a different drum pattern, similar to a drummer, drummers drumming and basically changing the patterns.
So let's just go through some of the techniques you was actually doing and then we'll break those down so people can actually see how they actually work.
Okay. Basically, usual thing, you either use headphones to cue it up, or, you know, if you're practicing, you're just going to move it around like this to find the beat.
Yeah. Is there, how do you know what records are right for beat juggles, or is it pretty much for you to
It depends what you're doing. I mean, this obviously we're showing the learning stages of beat juggling here. It would be good to find just a fresh beat, just something clear, which you can hear the bars, so you can understand more. Obviously, as things go on, you know, you're advancing, you're bringing different things into it. You can find harder things to do and more complex things. But
so first you're going to start with the basics, and then you obviously, the more experienced you become, you can make it more complicated.
Yeah, it's just progression with everything. You know?
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So I'll start off on the bar.
So that's the first beat.
That's the bar there.
Yeah.
And then you've got the bar here.
Both records are cued exactly the same, yeah?
Yeah.
In your case?
Cued the same. That one's cued the same there. So you just start off with this one.
So you're actually manipulating that kick?
Yeah. To make doubles?
Yeah. You can hear double in there?
Pull this one back.
Oh, let's go. Oh, beat! Yeah,
like that.
Okay. And then you change the style, you change the pace.
You can change the pace.
Right, you're cutting back there.
Cutting back there, you hold it, and then you basically, this is called beat chasing, where you just follow one's lead, this one can lead this one.
Yeah, so one's slightly delayed after the other one.
So you go.
So kick, snare, kick, kick, snare, snare, kick, snare. Yeah, see?
That's the form of, you know, basic beat cutting. Like you've got the baby scratch.
Yeah.
Or scratching, this is a baby. And then you could obviously...
Now you're doubling them there. If you look at the markers, you can see
how the actual record's moving around, especially when he doubles it. It's like a quick cut between his actual juggle.
Got the bar again.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is the reverse the other way, so I'm using this turntable.
Yeah. Again, he done a cut back there to just play with it. So again, it's basically mastering certain basics, and then you're applying your own kind of influence or rhythm to it.
You can just do different rhythms. You can, you know, some people work on hi-hats.
Yeah.
You know, and they can basically juggle on the hi-hats. It's just another simple part.
Yeah.
And you could just go slow. And then you got the bar again.
And you're playing with the snares,
then.
So you're doing a lot of cutting, quick cutting, and play, and just basically putting the sounds where you want them in your own timing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just break down some of the techniques that you was doing there. For example, pausing when the beat. This is the normal pace of the record, and you can pause between the gaps and make that record sound slower in the same pitch. So. And again, that helps you control the speed and the pitch of the record. So that's another thing you probably want to master, again, before you actually work between the two turntables. If you can do that with one and then repeat the other one by just back cueing, yeah?
Once you've got the flow, it's basically just learning the same thing, using your mind, getting used to just feeling, and you just get into a flow of anything. A lot of people count as well.
Yeah.
Going back to the counting beats thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people do count the bars, counting the beats, you know.
So every certain bar, again, they add a new beat juggle. So if you work out one style of beat juggling, maybe, for example, the pausing that I did there, and like Mad Cut did, he was cutting back between certain parts. Those only lasted a certain amount of bars, which would all add to the arrangement of the piece that you're juggling. And again, you can juggle with anything nowadays.
Yeah, anything.
They don't have to be the two same records.
Don't have to do two different copies, anything. You know, you could juggle with anything. Anything, you know, it's just obviously being creative and just practice.
Go, you got any suggestions and tips for DJs looking to get into competitions?
Yeah, you need to really practice a lot and stuff, and, well, make sure that you're ready when you enter.
How do you know when you're ready? What are you looking for to be ready in sense?
Well, when you're happy with what you got and stuff, and like you're happy with the sound that you're making, and you think that, you know, I may be better than the other guy, so let's give it a go.
So are you saying basically to enter to win all the time, or?
No, just do it. Just, you know, just express like what you do on the decks and stuff.
Okay, right. Mad Cut, any tips in being different and what to look for? Because some people moan about being technical or being doing tricks. What's your opinions on things like that?
I think that really, you know, you're who you are, and it depends. Like, you know, with everything, whether you're doing, you know, whether you're doing sports or whatever, you know, you're going to express just whatever's coming out of you. And obviously with tricks, whether you're, you know, a lot of people are quite deep, and you know, it comes across on the turntables, whether it's scratching, being technical. If you want, you know, it's just good to be complete. It is good to be complete, especially now because turntablism's got so big. It's definitely.
DJ Pogo, what's your opinions on the way DJing's changed from the day you basically started out, and how difficult is it now compared to then?
Well, basically, when it started over here in the UK, it was more of a fad thing. A lot of people done it as a fad thing. Like, I was just fascinated by DJing, so I started DJing like way back in the early 80s, and I was into like the DJing, just like club playing, the whole vibe of that. So when I saw scratching, it was fascinating, and that's what I wanted to do from that day one. The way it's changed now, it's more advanced. The message gets around a lot quicker now because we've got videos now. Like, we had tapes, so we couldn't even see what other DJs were doing. We just heard what they were doing. If you were lucky enough for them to come to your town, which was very rare, you could see something. But now, new styles and techniques which are starting off in far different parts of the world now, you can see them the following week in your own country now on video and whatever. It's changed now a lot, 'cause a lot of the DJs around the world are friends. It's a much more of a unified thing now. Whereas back in the early 80s, it was more of a like, no, I don't like you, you're not with our crew, da 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 da, so forth. So there's a lot more togetherness. The techniques now is so advanced. I can't even keep up with all the styles and techniques that's happening now. It's got so advanced now. There's new things happening every day. People are starting to learn now that, you know, you don't have to sound a lot like the next guy to get to where you're going. You have to be an individual in yourself and be sure of that style. If you're an individual in yourself and you know your benchmark, you know how you want to sound when you come out, and that's when you know you're ready to come out. A lot of people are going down that road. That's why we're having a lot of new DJs coming up now who are sounding very different and coming up with some mad ill styles. So it's changed. It's like the change now is dramatic. It's constantly changing. It's like an explosion that's continually growing. It's constantly going. You know, sky's the limit as far as turntablism is concerned now, and DJing concerned on a level now. It's like whatever your brain can do, and you can transform that into like on the turntables. That's your limit. That's your benchmark, and it's been constantly pushed higher and higher every year. You know, like me on my level, the way I look at it now, like I'm more into the funk side of it, the funkier, the beats and everything. That's the way I look at it. You know, it's got a bit more into a lot of the technical side now. It's gone very, very technical now. It's so technical, some DJs don't even know what's happening technically up there, you know, but that's how advanced it's got. But, you know, that's it. Turntablism has gone to that level now. It's growing, it's advanced so much now, you know, sky's the limit of where it's going to end.
Okay, Yo, I mean, a lot of mixing equipment now has been obviously improved on the turntables, the mixer. Do you think there's any need to keep improving them, and what do you think about the price of these equipments?
I think equipment don't need improve because people make sound. So sounds good or bad.
Right.
That's it. I think.
And
not the equipment.
Okay. It couldn't be more simpler than that. So with those kind of opinions and points, all we can say out there is keep practicing. It's going to be a lot of graph, you know, trial and error. Be creative, express yourself, be a turntablist.
Well, there you go. I hope you know a little more now about the art of turntablism. We'd like to thank very much the directors and staff here at Fat Beats and the customers for their patience. They've all enjoyed it today. Particularly want to thank the lads here, Babu and Noise and Tony Vegas, and of course our Cupmaster Swift, for giving us away some of their great secrets. It's a continuing developing art, guys, isn't it? Where the heck is it going? Have we got any ideas with this? Everybody keeps asking me what's next, you know, and every year something new comes through.
Oh, Tony, it's endless.
It is endless, isn't it? And now the team, of course, the team thing will expand the thing, won't it? There'll be so many millions of more things 3 or 4 guys can do than one guy.
And the Scratch Perverts were not this year.
The Scratch Perverts, the kings of the world this year.
I think it's basically important to say no matter where it goes, at the end of the day, it's going to stay musical, and that's what we are doing. No matter what we're doing on the turntables, we are trying to reproduce music and keep the element of DJing, which is playing and entertaining the crowd musically. So that's all I want to say about it.
So anybody who wants to become a world champion, have you got any tips? I mean, do they have, I mean, a lot of kids can't afford SL1200s right away until they get a little bit older, or they've got rich parents. I mean, can they start on cheaper decks and just practice and learn the art that way?
I think we all started on cheaper decks.
Yeah, we all started on cheap decks. And
started on my mum's stereo system, that's what I did. I'm pretty sure you had a... And you as well, right?
Yeah. I started on my brothers.
You started on your brothers?
Babu stole some SL1200.
Yeah. I started out with jacked up turntables, 1700 to 1800 techniques. They sucked. But I mean, I think that makes you stronger when you have to struggle and you gotta, you know, earn your turns. And
exactly.
And what kind of hours do people have to put into this to become a world champion? I mean, let's look at 8-Track. I mean, he was 15 when he won the event. He'd been practicing for years already, maybe 4 years. But how long does you have to really... If you're going in for a world championship, which you've all done, is it literally a year's hard graft every minute in the bedroom practicing this thing?
To me, it wasn't. It's a question of, I have a different way of coming up with ideas. Some people put in a lot of work when they have to practice with their scratching and juggling and all that stuff, but my stuff was mostly word routines. I didn't put a lot of work into it, except in my head, and I marked it up at home. But I know some people, when they have to perfect all the scratches live, perfect the juggles, I mean, for instance, Plus One from Scotland. I know this guy puts in work every single day at the turntables, and that's something everybody should do. I mean,
yeah, I think it's a genuine love for the art form, and you know, you're just fueled on that passion.
It's a bug, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really count the hours.
If you choose to practice them in mental practices is important.
Yeah.
As actually just putting, you know, if you get 2 copies of a record, the worst thing you could do is just throw them on the turns and just get stuck straight into
it. Yeah.
Listen to them and think about it.
Yeah,
practicing.
What do you mean? Put the record on and listen very intently until you find the little bits you could use.
Just think how you can change that record.
What about you, Tony? This year, I mean, for example, it must have been terribly stressful for you because you were also in the Single Techniques Championships and you were in the Newmark Vestax Techniques DMC Team Championships. How on earth did you cope with practicing and rehearsing for both events?
Yeah, it does take a lot of concentration. It took a lot of time to do 2 competitions, to do a team and an individual routine. You've got to dedicate all your time to your team because they're more important than you are. You can't just go for yourself. You've got to think that you're going to stand on stage with 3 other men. You're responsible for their success as much as they are yours. So that's the important thing with the team event. I just found the easiest thing to do was just to round non-stop with my girlfriend and sleep in separate rooms, and then I just had all the time in the world.
And the other thing that's gone now is age, because we had A-Track who kind of bust through at the age of 15, Johnny, and then we had the old school, you know, the Enforcers. My goodness, here's the old school, former world champion 8-9 years ago with Pogo and Billy, and you came out fighting and put on an incredible team event. I mean, so age has gone at the other end of the scale too. You don't have to be too old to win this thing.
Like I said earlier on, it's just a genuine passion for the art form, and you know, you can't really count the years. I don't.
Right.
Best thing in the world. Best thing in the world about DJing, this is just my opinion, is when you put a lot of work into it, when you have a lot of hours just locked up in your bedroom, coming out looking white, pale, whatever, and you stand in front of an audience and they give you the recognition for something you spent so many hours on. That is the ultimate reward for DJing.
There's nothing worse than an audience who are not responding to incredible moments on the turntables. That frustrates the life out of me. Sometimes audience are really hip, and sometimes, you know, they just don't give you what you deserve, you know. But anybody watching this who comes to a DMC championship around the world, I hope you'll give response. You've seen what these guys do. You know how difficult it is. So when you see something good in the competition, you just respond and give them the respect they're due. And my respect today to our 4 wonderful demonstrators of the art of turntablism. Bye-bye.
Couple of your best friends protect me, 12 lines and DJs stay. Couple of your best friends protect me. Couple of your best, couple of your,
The latest DMC catalogue contains a wide selection of DJ merchandise, including the world-exclusive range of Technics branded t-shirts, jackets, bags and record boxes. To obtain a catalogue, write or email DMC at any international branch or take a close look at the available range online at dmcworld.com.
Almost every World Final is available on video as far back as 1987. See the range and check out some exclusive backstage footage at dmcworld.com.
DMC World published 2 great magazines. In the UK, 7 every week. In the USA, Mixer Monthly. For international subscription details, email DMC at info@dmcworld.com or visit the website dmcworld.com and check out the amazing DJ pages where the world's greatest DJs can be found.
This is Cutmaster Swift.
And I'm Tony Prince.
See you at the next DMC event.
Pump it up loud. Pump it up loud. Pump it up loud. Feel the bass. Feel the bass. Feel the bass. The bass.